Hi, and welcome to National Insurance Associates, one of the fastest growing senior market insurance brokerages in the United States. For the next few minutes, I want to share with you what is without a doubt the most incredible and exciting selling opportunity that I have seen in the senior market insurance industry in the last 15 years. My goal today is not to give you a hard sales pitch that you would traditionally hear from other brokerages while recruiting new agents. Instead, I am simply going to show you a unique paradigm shift and educate you on the tremendous opportunity in front of us. All I ask is that for the next few minutes, pay close attention. That doesn't seem like too much of a challenge, does it? Okay, great. Let's get started. First off, here at National Insurance Associates, we only recruit and work side by side with the top 1%ers covering the insurance landscape. Now, I consider top 1%er agents to be those who have the knowledge and means to earn a multiple six-figure income. Secondly, these agents must hold and practice only the absolute highest of ethical standards. In all honesty, finding agents in this class is very hard, and recruiting them to join a typical brokerage is even more difficult, and here's why. Now let's take a look at the traditional model of how we as agents sell our products and generate leads. Now I'm sure that you'd agree that without leads and a constant supply of people to sell to, it is impossible to be a top 1%er. So what are the traditional ways that we get leads? Direct mail, TV, radio, seminars, referrals, trade shows, newspaper, telemarketing, and door knocking are just a few that come to mind. So when we at National Insurance Associates want to attract great agents to our organization, in a traditional model, this is what you would hear in the recruiting process. We have a 200-seat call center located right in our High Point, North Carolina location, and we will preset 15 to 20 appointments per week off of our high-quality direct mail leads, and we offer the most competitive compensation structure in today's market. Blah, 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 blah. Now, I could probably go on forever with this pitch. Now the problem is the brokerage down the street is saying and promising the same things, aren't they? At this point, what happens in the traditional model is then we start negotiating better lead costs or maybe a higher contract level, something like that. Now this is why it is almost impossible for most brokerages to attract superstar agents. And then even if we do, after a year or two, typically the grass becomes greener somewhere else and those agents jump ship. Can you build a successful brokerage using this traditional model? Absolutely. Frankly, we still use a lot of the traditional marketing techniques and do them extremely well. This is why our agents are successful. But let's face it, using the same old traditional marketing practices still makes the business a grind if you want to make a great living. So, if we are one of the fastest growing insurance brokerages in the United States, and I just told you the traditional model is a grind, then how is this even possible? Well, it's our strategic relationship with EXEMPLAR, also known as the Healthcare Partnership Organization, that gives our agents a competitive edge. So who in the world is EXEMPLAR and how are they going to help me, you ask? That is a great question, and let me explain. This is the key to our rapid expansion. So in order to see the big picture and paradigm shift, you must understand the history of how and why EXEMPLAR was created. EXEMPLAR's roots extend back roughly a decade. The first initial companies, which would ultimately turn into EXEMPLAR, were 9 independent pharmacies owned along approximately 180 miles of highway in the Piedmont region of North Carolina. After those 9 pharmacies, a company called Pharmacy Management Company was born, also known as PMC. PMC to this day not only manages those first 9 stores, but also manages independent pharmacies all across the United States. As PMC continued to grow, it was glaringly obvious that in order to really help the independent pharmacies, these stores needed a better cost of goods to compete. It was at this time that Independent Pharmacy Distributors was launched. Independent Pharmacy Distributors, or IPD, is a secondary pharmaceutical wholesaler. IPD is licensed in 48 states, has direct contracts with over 65 drug manufacturers, and is currently selling competitively priced prescription drugs to 4,000 of the 25,000 independent pharmacies nationwide. After seeing how these two companies were able to help independent pharmacies not only compete against the big retail chains, but thrive, Carolina Clinical Health Systems came into existence, or CCHS. CCHS does basically what PMC does for independent pharmacies, but applies support, credentialing, billing optimization, and more to increase revenue for independent primary care doctor offices. CCHS owns their own primary cares, but also manages practices all over the United States as well. As these three companies continue to work in conjunction with each other, we at National Insurance Associates had a chance encounter with some great people that work to build such a noble business model. Once we at National Insurance Associates truly understood that their goal was not to make billions of dollars, but to truly help save all these great businesses nationally from being overrun by the big guys in their industry, we knew National Insurance Associates had to get involved if they would allow us. As it so happened, our company's mission statements and values aligned so well, and the opportunities to help others was so great that National Insurance Associates became the fourth company to become what is now known as EXEMPLAR. National Insurance Associates is an independent insurance marketing organization working rigorously behind the scenes to help lower the overall cost of insurance for not only pharmacies and doctors' offices, but also all of their patients. And this is where you, the agent, comes in, but more on that later. Lastly, once we truly understood the complete landscape of all the affected independent pharmacies and doctors' offices, it became very noticeable the final missing piece to complete the healthcare circle surrounding our customers was to own a PBM, or Pharmacy Benefit Management Company. It was at this time, with a lot of hard work and great people, that ProRx Solutions was created. ProRx Solutions process and manage pharmaceutical claims for self-funded groups and insurance carriers, and they are marketed on a national level. Now, because the margins that some of the larger PBMs make are extremely high, ProRx Solutions gets a competitive advantage, as their ultimate goal is to help lower RX costs and save their clients as much money on drug spend as possible. Once all these 5 companies were built and became successful, it was decided that everyone could come together and succeed under one umbrella with a parent company. Welcome to EXEMPLAR, the Healthcare Partnership Organization. Now that we have explained the history of how EXEMPLAR was created, we can move to the exciting part. How does National Insurance Associates and EXEMPLAR help you, the insurance agents? We alluded to some hints earlier, but let's go into more detail. First, do you know how many independent pharmacies there are nationally? If you paid attention and said 25,000, you would be correct. How many independent primary cares are there nationally? Well, 76,000 would be the answer. The next question I have for you may be the most important question I have during this video. Do you know who the most trusted healthcare provider is in the healthcare profession? If you said doctor, you're close, but wrong. Doctors are second. The most trusted healthcare provider in the healthcare industry is actually the pharmacist. Until we at National Insurance Associates joined EXEMPLAR, we would have never guessed this. According to a Medicaid study here in North Carolina, the average Medicaid recipient sees their pharmacist an astonishing average of 34 times a year. Also, did you know that even though the big retail chains control 70% of the pharmaceutical market nationally, it is independent pharmacies that control 65 to 70% of the Medicare and Medicaid population's drug prescription fill. Now, under EXEMPLAR, based on the first original 9 stores that were owned, Take a guess at how many Medicare Advantage and dual eligible patients they filled prescriptions for. What do you think? 1,000? 3,000? 8,000? Well, they filled prescriptions for exactly 11,187 clients last year alone. As an insurance agent, wouldn't it be nice to be able to tap into a resource like that to grow your book of business? Well, guess what? This is where the paradigm shift happens and your business starts to soar. Estimations from EXEMPLAR and the network of independent pharmacies they are working with tell us there will be about 25 million leads that will be generated for us over the next 3 to 5 years. How many of those people would you like to help? A true paradigm shift cannot be duplicated easily. Could you go out to independent pharmacies and ask to speak to their customers about Medicare Advantage plans? Sure you could, as long as you did it in a CMS compliant way and if you got the pharmacy owner's permission. But that would be a traditional way of marketing and thinking, wouldn't it? Do you own a pharmacy management company that is increasing their bottom line? Do you own a pharmaceutical wholesale drug company that is saving them money on the drugs they purchase? Do you own a PBM that gives the pharmacies better reimbursements as they fill a prescription? Well, more than likely, that answer is no. At National Insurance Associates, we truly have the best problem any brokerage could ever have. We have Medicare leads coming in from all across the nation, from the most trusted healthcare provider in the profession, the independent pharmacist. So what does this all mean for you? Imagine if you were a stockbroker and you had all the accountants in the United States recommending that their high net worth clients do business with you. Do you think your business would soar? How hard do you think the sales process would be? Do you think you would become a top 1%er? I know you would. And that is the same opportunity that you will have with National Insurance Associates in the senior market. Most of our agents are closing 75% or more of their appointments and cross-selling more final expense and ancillary products than they have ever sold before. Now, as I stated earlier, this is truly the most amazing sales opportunity we have seen in the last 15 years. It is without a doubt game-changing, and we are blessed at National Insurance Associates to be a part of it and sharing it with you. For more information on joining NIA, please call 888-357-7457 or email info@nationalinsuranceassociates.com. We look forward to working hand in hand with you. God bless, and we will talk soon.